leader in HR strategy, leadership development, and organizational transformation. With over 25 years of experience across the Middle East and globally, she has played a pivotal role in reshaping the HR landscape, from building people centric policies to driving large scale change management initiatives. Today's session promises to be insightful as we explore her expertise in artificial intelligence and global leadership, drawing from a rich background with major organizations such as VFS Tashil, TCOM Investments, and Integral. So, without further ado, let's dive in and gain valuable insights. Ma'am, over to you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. What a lovely introduction. I don't need to introduce myself now. That was great. Thank you. It's great to be here with you today and to hopefully share some thought provokers. That's what I'd like to do. I'd like you to leave here today with some deeper questions in mind and some deeper thinking, and go away and do something different because of what we're going to talk about. So as you heard, I'm an HR person, so I am not a technology person. When it comes to the technical side of AI, you probably know more than I do. So that's not what I'm here to talk to you about. I'm here because AI brings with it such magnitude of change to the workplace. Now, yeah, I've been around so many years. I've been working for more than 30 years. I've seen the introduction of the internet. I used to work without an internet. I used to work without email. I used to work without mobile phones. So I've seen the introduction of all of these initiatives, but I'm telling you, they are tiny compared to the changes that AI is and will bring to the workplace. So that's my emphasis for today, for you as future leaders to start appreciating from now what organizations and leaders need to do globally to help prepare organizations, prepare yourselves, and then prepare our employees so that we can really make the most and be positive about the changes that AI is going to bring. So that's my intention. If we can put some slides up, I don't know, can you see the slides? I can't
Yes,
see any
Natalie,
on the
I'll do
screen.
that. Just give me 1 minute.
Okay.
Can you see my screen?
So I can see a view of it with notes. Can everyone just see the slides?
Just 2 minutes.
So just while we're waiting for that, so yes, I have lived in the UAE and Dubai for 27 years actually, but I'm originally from the UK. So I've lived and worked in the UK, obviously. I've lived and worked in the Middle East, but in my Middle East roles, I've also had global roles. I've visited India many times. I had a team when I was CHRO for VFS Tashil. I had a team in Chennai, so I used to pop to Chennai a lot to meet with the team. We had salespeople in Vasco worldwide and in different areas of India. So I'm yeah, familiar to some extent, and like my curry, mild, not spicy. Okay. I can see it. Just let me know when everybody else can.
Okay. I hope you can see the slide.
Yeah, I can see the second slide. Can everybody else see that?
Yes. So you can just tell me when to shift the slides. I'll do that.
Okay. Everybody can see the slides, okay?
Yes, yes. Students can see
So
that.
we're on AI, the game changer, yes? Okay. So just to set the scene, I want to explore a little bit and just make sure we're on the same page as far as understanding what AI is. So this is a transformative field, obviously, of technology. And fundamentally, it's about machines performing tasks that normally humans would do. So what kind of tasks? Problem solving, decision making, learning from experience, understanding and generating language, recognizing patterns and images, and responding to environmental changes. So AI has been around since the middle of the last century. It's nothing new, but it's really that we've seen significant advancements in recent years because of improvements in computing power, in data availability, and in algorithmic development. And that's why, and even more so within the last couple of years, we hear so much about it because of OpenAI. Next slide, please. So probably like me, you see every day articles, news articles, online articles about AI, whether it's from HBR or the local press or business articles. We are inundated. Everybody is talking about it. And I'm just sharing a couple of headlines here. Why? Because they're big names. The first is Google, and then on the next slide, we see Meta. So I've selected these because look at these companies. We can go to the next slide, please. They've already achieved so much in their domain. We know they're good at this sort of thing. Whatever they're focusing on, they're going to do well, and they're going to do it quickly because they're in competition with each other. So the acceleration of the change we're going to see is evident when we start to see headlines like this. Next slide.
Yeah, I've changed the slide. Yes.
I can still see the Bloomberg slide. Have we gone on to the next one? Oh, okay. All right. So we skipped one. It's all right. That was just a meta headline. All right. So AI is everywhere. What are we talking about? We're talking about smart technology. So machines or software that mimic human intelligence. This means that they can learn, reason, solve problems, and adapt based on data. That's smart technology. Then there's machine learning. This is really the brain of AI. Machine learning is the technology that helps AI learn from experience. It's like training a machine to recognize patterns. For example, when you use a streaming service like Netflix, the platform learns your preferences over time and recommends shows based on what you've watched before. That's machine learning. Then there's automation. Unlike simple automation, like a coffee machine making coffee, AI-based automation can handle more complex tasks. For example, you probably all experienced chatbots on websites that will actually, it's like you're interacting with a human, you're chatting with a bot, having a conversation. Then there are the algorithms. These are the decision-making formula. They're step-by-step instructions that machines follow to perform tasks. In AI, algorithms help machines make decisions based on data inputs. Think of an example like Google Maps. So the algorithms enable Google Maps to analyze data about the traffic, about the distance, about the road condition, and works out the fastest route. Then there's NLP, natural language processing, understanding human speech. This is what powers voice assistants like Siri or Google Assistant that I bet you all use, so that they can understand spoken commands and respond meaningfully. Then there's AI and predictions. AI systems are very good at making predictions, whether it's predicting which product a customer might buy next or spotting patterns that indicate fraud in financial transactions. AI uses historical data to forecast outcomes more accurately and quicker than traditional methods. So AI is everywhere. From smartphones to healthcare, AI is already part of our daily lives. Next slide, please. What I'd like you to do is have a conversation with a couple of people next to you. So what are the benefits and potential drawbacks of this widespread AI integration? And there's a couple of key questions for you to consider. How can we maximize the advantages while mitigating the risks? That's the essence of the leadership challenge, if you think about it, when it comes to AI. How do we maximize the advantage, really use the potential of AI, but at the same time, be aware of and mitigate against the risks? So as you consider that question, think about AI-powered personal assistants, think about systems such as Netflix, think about autonomous driving, driver assistance systems. So have those examples in your mind and have a chat with your colleagues, just about 3 minutes. How do we maximize the advantages while mitigating the risks? Okay, over to you. Have a chat and I'll call on a couple of you to share your insights when you're done. Take 3 or 4 minutes.
Natalie, if you don't mind, I'll just once again request you to please explain them what exactly they are supposed to do. So if you can repeat
Okay.
this exercise, it will be helpful for them.
Yes, sure. All right. So you're sitting with colleagues. What I want you to do is just 2 or 3 of you join together and have a conversation. Think about what you know about AI already. You use systems like Siri or Alexa. You use Netflix, Amazon. You've heard about self-driving cars. These are examples of everyday use of AI. So considering these examples, how do you think we can, what are the advantages of them? What are the advantages for us as humans? But what are the risks? What are the downsides? So it's really thinking about plus and minus. What's good about AI, but what are the potential downside to it?
Okay, so how much time do they have for this?
3 minutes.
Okay, I hope the question is very clear to everyone. So you have 3 minutes with you, and after 3 minutes, some students can please come over here and just give your findings. So your time starts right now. So you have 3 minutes to do this exercise. I hope we are done with 3 minutes. Yes. Any students,
Okay.
kindly come ahead to share your find outs. Yes. I'll request some students to come ahead. You need to speak from here, please. Okay, we have some answers ready.
Can we hear a couple of inputs? Have we got time to do that?
Hello, my name is Arushi Kabra, and the question that ma'am asked us was benefits and drawback of the AI system. So the advantages I would like to brief are privacy concerns, regulations and ethical guidelines, and sensitive data can be handled properly. But at the same time, if I'm going to describe about the disadvantages, it would be how it can be misused and mishandled, and job displacement, routine and manual jobs would be at stake. Yeah, that are my inputs.
That's excellent. Thank you very much. Well done. Yes, and hopefully all of you
Yes,
had,
so we
had those
have
kind of.
someone else. You can please come ahead
Okay.
if we. Okay, we have one more student.
So, a very good afternoon to one and all present here. Hi, Natalie. It's a very intriguing session. We're having a really nice session with you, interacting one on one. So, I believe I recently read this news where AI was used to help in making medicines in the healthcare sector. Apart from that, there was another news of Hell Energy. So, with the help of AI, they invented a new energy drink itself. So I believe that falls on the advantages part of it. If you know how to use the AI properly, you'll be able to make more innovations in a better manner. But yeah, every side has two pros and cons. So the con would be if you're not well equipped and you do not know, sorry, yeah, if you're not well equipped and if you do not know how to make use of it properly, then you might end up getting replaced by it. Maybe not now, maybe 5 years down the line. So yeah, thank you.
That's great. Thank you very much. Well done.
Do we have anyone else to come ahead or shall we continue?
I think we'll continue.
Yeah,
We've got another breakout session a bit later, so we can hear from
sure.
some more students then. So I've just summarized that on the next slide. But I want you to have in your minds that as you enter the business world, as you work in the business, that's really what it's about when it comes to AI. How do I optimize the benefit and mitigate the risk? So the kind of benefits we're talking about, if you think about things like Siri, Alexa, you're talking about convenience, user experience, automating tasks, personalizing content. It's all rather lovely. If you think about autonomous driving, driver assistance systems, it reduces human error, enhancing road safety. And the example your colleague gave from medicine, yes, the advancements in medicine can be much more widespread and much quicker. But we have to be aware of the potential drawbacks. Like you said, and you recognize these, extensive data collection by AI systems raises significant privacy issues. AI systems can perpetrate biases if trained on biased data, leading to unfair outcomes. And there was a big case with Amazon on this a few years ago where they were using AI in the talent acquisition area, but they had put data in that meant that how AI was using the data was it was biased against women applicants. And when Amazon discovered this, obviously there was a big concern about its use of AI. And yes, one of you said this, automation through AI can lead to job displacement in various sectors. And I think people are just beginning to wake up to this idea. I think with some people, there's a bit of head in the sand, oh, my job's all right. I work in hospitality. I'll never be affected. But I think people are beginning to realize that actually, if my job doesn't go altogether, then it's definitely going to change. The way I do my job now will not be the same as the way I do it in the future. And this realization is really important for people. And fundamentally for me, it's how organizations help employees come to that realization and support them in that transition is so, so important. So that's what I'm going to focus on. Really what the future of work looks like with AI. So if we have a look at the next couple of slides, you'll see some some headline and article examples here. These are the few jobs that robots won't take from us, cries this article. And then in the next article, they're talking about eliminating 6% of the jobs in the US, 39% of jobs in the legal sector automated in the next 10 years. Rather frightening headlines. But here is a lovely quote that I really want you to take on board on the next slide. This is from Rob Thomas from IBM, and he says, AI is not going to replace managers, but managers who use AI will replace the managers who do not. Just think about that for a moment. It's very similar to something one of my sons who's studying law at the moment said to me. He said, AI won't replace us lawyers, but those of us who embrace AI will replace the lawyers who don't. So in whatever field of business you work or aspire to work in, the same thing goes. So, you know, it's not about, okay, an AI can't replace me as a manager, but actually the manager who doesn't use AI, doesn't work with AI, doesn't embrace this technology, those are the managers that will most definitely be replaced. And the influence and impact of AI in the workplace is accelerating. Employees might rightly be anxious that they could be replaced. Certainly employees with more routine or admin tasks could be thinking, I'm about to lose my job. But what's really important is that we are preparing ourselves and preparing our employees for proactively working with AI rather than ignoring the issue or just thinking the worst and burying our head in the sand. Next slide, please. So there are some sectors already we can see AI is moving in and replacing jobs or changing jobs, but the list of sectors is going to continue to grow as AI evolves. That's something very obvious that's going to happen. So what every organization needs to be thinking about is, how am I reskilling my employees, or how am I upskilling my employees for these changes? That's very, very important, because just as there's a disadvantage that jobs are going to go, there's also a huge advantage that different jobs, different type of working is going to be there in the workplace. So we can, if we can embrace it, we can use AI to do the routine, boring stuff, the hard work in seconds, and make our work so much more enjoyable, and we can do different things. So it's very much what organizations need to be focused on is how they upskill and reskill. I want to share an example with you of a company that I'm sure you have all heard of. On the next slide, please. It's reskilling at Amazon. And it was actually something that they launched when Amazon launched Upskilling 2025. It's a $700 million project to retrain 100,000 of their employees for new high-tech jobs. So this is about focusing on technical skills, so providing training in machine learning and cloud computing, software engineering, data science areas. Employees are now given opportunities to transition to higher skilled technical roles within Amazon or outside the company. For example, the fulfillment center workers whose jobs are going to be replaced are being trained to become data analysts or tech support engineers. And Amazon has also partnered with community colleges and external educational programs to offer free technical certifications and training, ensuring that workers are prepared for the evolving landscape. So that's a really great example from Amazon, and it's important to look at what we can learn from that as leaders going forward. So next slide, please. First of all, we can learn about how important it is to be proactive as leaders. Amazon's leadership acknowledges the potential for job displacement due to automation. They're not hiding from it, they're not ignoring it, they acknowledge it, and it's addressing it head on through a large-scale reskilling program. So proactive leadership, really important. Investment in people. Amazon's commitment to investing in its workforce shows how companies can lead with responsibility, ensuring workers are not left behind as AI reshapes industries. And also long-term vision. Amazon is preparing for a future where human AI collaboration is central. Leadership is fostering a culture where employees are equipped with the skills needed for higher value tasks, ensuring they remain competitive in a world where automation takes over routine work. Okay, next slide, please. So how are organizations, back one, how are organizations adapting to AI? So companies like Siemens and Tesla are using AI in predictive maintenance, supply chain management. There are so many examples. China is really leading the way in consumer services with companies like Alibaba. All of this is happening alongside this growing awareness and growing voice of concern about the ethics to do with AI and the challenges organizations face in ensuring fair and transparent AI use. So that's really important as well. So you've got these two main considerations happening at the moment. What's happening to the jobs in my organization and how can I prepare my employees for these changes? And how can we make sure as an organization we're using AI ethically, transparently, fairly, all of that. Okay, so next slide, please. So there are decisions to be made. This is calling on leaders themselves to really step up and realize that no matter where they are in the world, no matter what type of leader they are, what type of organization, they are now leaders in an AI world. What does that look like? Well, as we said, AI is not going to replace leaders, but it will definitely redefine what leadership looks like. Leaders really need to collaborate with AI and use data-driven decision making. The importance of soft skills like emotional intelligence, adaptability, creativity will become even more crucial. So that's where we should be really nurturing those skills and encouraging those skills in the workplace. Lovely research from McKinsey recently shows that top performing companies, and I love this expression, have AI savvy leaders guiding their workforce through AI integration. If you don't have AI savvy leaders in an organization, then you're going to fall behind. Let's have another look at a case study, another organization you've definitely all heard of. On the next slide, Microsoft. So Microsoft has obviously been at the forefront of AI integration, embedding it across all its products and services. To maximize the benefits, Microsoft has heavily invested in leadership development, ensuring that managers and executives are equipped to lead in an AI-driven world. So they integrate AI into leadership decision making. In Microsoft Teams, AI is used to enhance collaboration by offering tools like real-time translation and transcription. And Microsoft emphasizes the importance of ethical AI. It's established an AI ethics committee, which ensures that AI technology is used responsibly. It's also created an internal framework called Responsible AI to ensure fairness, privacy, and accountability. So what can we learn from Microsoft's example and focus on leadership and ethics? Next slide, please. Key learning from Microsoft, AI-driven decision making. Leaders at Microsoft are learning to use AI to make more strategic and data-driven decisions. This change in leadership style allows for faster, more precise decisions in a competitive global market. And it's this idea of joining together, we're working with the machines. Then on fostering AI ethics, Microsoft's leadership is ensuring that AI is not only powerful, but also responsible. This highlights the importance of ethical considerations, which are central to long-term success in an AI-powered world. And thirdly, AI as an enabler of collaboration. If you've used Microsoft tools, you've seen how this works. It's really enhances team dynamics and makes leaders more effective in managing remote and diverse teams. Okay, next slide, please. So think of it in terms of a reshaping. We're reshaping what leadership in organizations looks like, what a work culture looks like. And leaders need to drive these cultural transformations and create what really needs to be an adaptable and future ready workforce. That's what leaders need to be doing now. They need to be driving cultural transformation and creating adaptable, future ready workforces. Okay, next slide, please. I want to come back to this question of ethics for just a moment because it is so important. And if you've heard Sundar from Google talk about ethics, really these major companies acknowledging it is an issue. It is something that everybody should be focused on. So remember what I said a little while ago, let's optimize the benefits, but at the same time mitigate the risks. So Google itself has taken steps to address the ethical challenges that come with AI, including those biases in the algorithms we spoke about, privacy concerns, the potential misuse of AI technology. In fact, it learned a lot in 2018 when it faced backlash from the Project Maven. I don't know if you've heard about this. It was a US Department Defense initiative where they used AI to analyze drone footage. So this sparked internal debates over the ethical use of AI in military applications, and actually Google withdrew from the project. And it was after this controversy that Google introduced its AI principles, and it has 7 guiding principles that ensure that AI is developed ethically and responsibly. Next slide, please. So what can we learn from Google? It's really important to balance that innovation and ethics. Google's experience with Project Maven and the subsequent introduction of the AI principles demonstrates the critical balance leaders must strike between innovation but also responsibility. Proactive leadership. Again, we see this word proactive. By setting clear ethical guidelines for AI use, Google is positioning itself as a leader in responsible AI development. Leaders in organizations must similarly create a framework to ensure AI is used for positive and fair outcomes. And global impact, obviously Google is a global organization. So Google's leadership in AI sets a global precedent, influencing how other companies adopt and govern AI technologies. Next slide, please. So are you ready to lead in an AI world? How you saw your parents as leaders, how you saw their parents as leaders, change. It's changing. What you see now as leaders in organizations, it is changing. So you need to prepare yourselves to lead in an AI world. So let's dig a little bit deeper into this. Next slide, please. Let's set the stage for how AI will reshape leadership and work culture. So AI is transforming the traditional role of leadership. Leaders are no longer just decision makers based on intuition or past experience. They are increasingly relying on data and AI insights to make informed decisions. AI helps leaders identify trends, forecast outcomes, and improve strategic planning by analyzing vast amounts of data more accurately and faster than humans ever could. Shift from hierarchical to agile AI-powered teams. Traditional hierarchical structures are giving way to more agile cross-functional teams. AI enables greater flexibility in decision making, team collaboration, allowing for quicker responses to market changes. Leaders will need to guide these agile teams, balancing AI-driven recommendations with human judgment and creativity. Emphasis on emotional intelligence and soft skills. With AI handling our more technical and repetitive tasks, leadership will become more focused on human-centered skills like emotional intelligence, empathy, communication. Leaders will need to foster strong relationships, manage team morale, and help employees navigate the transition as AI redefines their roles. AI will drive a culture of continuous learning and adaptability. Leaders will need to create an organizational culture where continuous learning is the norm. AI is evolving rapidly, and employees will need to continuously upskill and adapt. This shift will require leaders to champion reskilling programs like the one at Amazon, mentoring, a growth mindset to help employees stay relevant in a changing job market. AI enhanced decision making and ethical leadership. AI will aid leaders in making more data driven and unbiased decisions, but leaders must be cautious about over reliance on AI, especially when it comes to ethical considerations. Ethical leadership will be crucial in ensuring AI is used responsibly, balancing efficiency with fairness and transparency, especially in areas like hiring, promotions, and performance evaluations. Leaders as change agents. AI is not just a tool, but a driver of organizational transformation. Leaders must act as change agents, promoting innovation and a forward-thinking mindset. They will need to communicate AI's potential clearly to their teams, ensuring that AI is seen as an opportunity rather than a threat. And finally, work culture will evolve towards more collaboration between humans and machines. Can you picture this? Can you see yourself sitting next to a machine? AI will be a co-pilot. There's a good name for a system. Thank you, Microsoft, for employees, augmenting their work and helping them focus on more strategic, creative, and value-adding tasks. Leaders will need to foster a culture that encourages collaboration between AI tools and human talent, ensuring a seamless integration of AI into daily work. Thank you. Next slide, please. So while you read this rather scary quote from Stephen Hawking, I'm just going to emphasize and summarize where we've got to so far. Organizations, leaders, and employees must all work together to prepare for AI's impact on the workplace. Organizations need a clear AI strategy, a robust ethical framework, and a focus on continuous learning. Leaders must develop new skills around data-driven decision-making, fostering human-centered leadership, and acting as change agents. And employees should focus on lifelong learning. Okay. So let's look a little bit more at what organizations need to do to be ready, and then we'll break that down further into what leaders should be doing. So developing a comprehensive AI strategy. Organizations should have a well-defined strategy for how AI will be integrated into their business processes. This includes identifying areas where AI can add value, such as improving efficiency, enhancing the customer experience, and driving innovation. Leaders need to make sure they're aligning the AI strategy with the overall business goals to ensure it supports long-term growth and competitive advantage. So there shouldn't be a strategy and an AI strategy. They have to be together. Investment. Companies must invest in the necessary technology, such as data infrastructure, machine learning platforms, and AI-powered tools to support the AI integration. Cloud computing, big data management, cybersecurity should be prioritized to build a strong foundation for AI-driven operations. Promote a culture of continuous learning and adaptability. And this is where AI will change the nature of work, and organizations must foster a culture where employees are encouraged to continuously learn and adapt. Offer reskilling and upskilling programs, just like the Amazon example. Organizations need to build an ethical AI framework, establish clear ethical guidelines, have an AI ethics committee in place. Organizations need to lead digital transformation with change management. Don't just assume it's going to happen, but really put in place sound, solid change management processes and capability. And towards the end, I'm going to touch on a little bit around change management, just to see if the traditional models we've used in the past for change, such as Kotter and ADKAR, if they are still applicable with AI. So we'll talk about that a little bit later. So before I go on to look at explore the kind of questions that people inside business should be asking, I just want to share with you a research study that I conducted in the UAE. Next slide, please. So my key question was around what are organizations actually doing to prepare employees for the inevitable workplace changes that are driven by AI. So I had a feeling that organizations are not doing as much as they could be. And actually my research sort of supported that. So next slide, please. So I used a quantitative data survey, really asking for organizations, did they think it's important? Are they actually doing things? Do they think they should be doing things? What are they doing? Are they aware they should be doing anything at all? Next slide, please. So here you can see the difference between the answers to these two questions. So you can see the scale is from 1 to 5. So 1 being low, 5 being high. So to what extent is AI integrated in your organization is more on the low to middle side. But in your opinion, how important is it that your organization does integrate AI? You can see it's much more on the high side. So what organizations are saying is we're not doing enough, but we know we will be doing more. So in that case, what are we doing to prepare our employees? Let's have a look at the next slide, please. So do employees in your organization generally understand AI and how it will change the future of work? You can see from that pie graph that actually only around a third are categorically saying yes, with 2/3 saying no or maybe. Well, how are we going to help them then? And to what extent do you think employees are aware of the changes that AI will bring to the way they do their job? Well, you can see the range of answers there on the scale of 1 to 10, where 1 was low, 10 is high. So some people, our employees, don't have any idea what's happening. Very few up the higher end, the 8s and 9s, are saying, yeah, our employees have got a pretty good idea. But you can see there's quite a lot in the middle. So what we see is organizations know they need to be integrating AI more. They know they will be integrating AI more, but they're also aware that our employees don't really understand it, don't understand the impact on them. Next slide, please. Do you think your organization is doing enough to prepare employees for the changes that AI is bringing and will bring to the workplace? The red on that pie graph is no. the orange is maybe, and just over a third are saying yes, we're doing enough, which tells you that nearly 2/3 are actually aware that their organization is not doing enough. And some of the reasons they gave were lack of awareness. Let's get people aware of what's coming. Not considered as part of the organization's strategy. Weren't we just looking at that? How important it is that organizations have a defined AI strategy, or little emphasis placed on the importance of effective change management. And didn't we just see that is a crucial aspect of AI moving forward? Changes that AI will bring. And I see that on a scale of 1 to 10. Actually, that's quite positive. From 5 upwards, that's quite good for something where there's a lack of awareness and a lack of really understanding and no real support or strategy at the moment. The fact that employees are positive about those changes, that's really good. Okay, next slide, please. This one's probably a little bit more difficult to read, but let me just tell you what it is. So it's a list of initiatives, what organizations could be doing, such as training in the basic use of AI, communication or education messages, reskilling, upskilling, having AI savvy mentors. So there's the list of initiatives who are actually doing this, and you see there's a gap. So, for example, 60% of respondents want to be communicating or training on the ethical use of AI, whereas only 26% are at the moment. Next slide, please. So in conclusion, based on this small research in our small part of the world in the UAE, it's evident that there is a distinct gap between what organizations think they should be doing and what they are actually doing to prepare employees for AI-driven change. The research concludes that a comprehensive approach encompassing leadership commitment, training, upskilling and reskilling, and a culture of transparent communication are essential. The study underscores the need for collaborative efforts between HR and technology colleagues to drive meaningful change through a structured, strategic approach that puts people first. Next slide, please. And we can skip to the next one. Yeah, we can go to slide 34. Thank you. That was just some recommendations from that research. Okay, good. So before we looked at the research, we looked at what organizations should be doing. Let's delve a little bit deeper into what should leaders do to prepare for AI. Leaders need to embrace data-driven decision making. They must become comfortable using data analytics and AI tools to enhance their decision making. This means leveraging AI insights to optimize strategies, predict trends, and make more informed decisions. Leaders need to develop the skills to interpret AI-driven data and balance it with human intuition and creativity. I've been in Saudi Arabia for the past few weeks, and I was doing a project where I was assessing leadership skills. So these are current leaders at the sort of very top of the organization and just below. And nearly every single individual, the development need that was coming out was critical thinking, data analysis, critical thinking, data analysis. This is something that leaders really need to be focusing on getting better on. Lead with empathy and emotional intelligence. As AI takes on more technical tasks, leadership will shift towards human-centered skills like empathy, emotional intelligence, and relationship building. Leaders should focus on maintaining team morale, fostering collaboration, and providing support to employees as they navigate the new AI world. Leaders need to champion a culture of learning and innovation, encouraging a mindset of lifelong learning and curiosity among their teams. I heard this from the Center of Creative Leadership years ago, that it's the top skill for leaders, curiosity. And I think it becomes even more so now. And not just for leaders, but how do we encourage all of our workforce to be curious? Cultivate a growth mindset that embraces innovation, experimentation, and a willingness to explore how AI can enhance various aspects of the business. That balance of innovation, ethical responsibility that we spoke about before. And lastly, on this slide, adapting to leading hybrid human AI teams. Have you heard of that expression? Hybrid human AI teams. AI will become a co-worker, augmenting human abilities and working alongside employees. Leaders must be adept at managing this hybrid workforce, knowing when to rely on AI and when to rely on human creativity and judgment. Leaders have to foster this collaboration between humans and machines by integrating AI tools seamlessly into Teams processes. Next slide, please. So if that's what organizations need to do, that's what leaders need to do, what should employees be doing? Embrace lifelong learning and upskilling. See it as a positive. Don't think that my 20 years of service mean anything. They mean nothing if you're not prepared to learn new skills, if you're not prepared to change your job. And it's this kind of mindset shift that's really important for employees. They need to be prepared to adapt to this new way of working, embrace these AI tools. Okay, new technology can sometimes be a little bit frightening, but starting with that growth mindset, that open mind, that it's not going anywhere, it's not going away, and the more I get on board here, the more I'm going to benefit. Learning to collaborate with AI. As I said, developing that growth mindset that I can, I will, rather than I can't and I don't want to. Really focusing on the human-centric skills that, as we said before, become so much more important, that AI cannot easily replicate: empathy, critical thinking, problem solving, and understand those ethical implications of AI. So when your organization introduces rules around the use of ChatGPT, for example, that you understand why and you follow those rules, and that you conduct your work with AI ethically. Next slide, please. So as I said, a question that I was interested in is, I've used models like Kotter's 8-step and the ADKAR model of change. I don't know how familiar you guys are with those models. Do you want to just quickly put your hand up so I can see? Are you familiar with Kotter or ADKAR, either of those models, when it comes to leading change? I can't see too many hands going up.
Yeah, they are just semester 1 students, so these models are not yet introduced to them completely. I hope
Okay.
you need to just little brief them about so that they will have an idea about the same.
Yeah, I mean, if you're studying change management, you'll definitely study Kotter. He's got 8 steps to follow in leading change in an organization, and ADKAR is from the Prosky Institute of Change Management, very well established methodology as well. But these are old; they've been around a long time, and I think it's important that we question, as we move forward, that the tools we've used in the past, are they the right tools to use going forward with AI? So should we be looking at a different way of managing change? So this is my question. And I'll try and quickly cover this without going into too much detail. So next slide, please. So if we look at Kotter's model, the first thing that Kotter says we need to do in leading change is to create a sense of urgency. Sometimes you'll hear this referred to as the burning platform. Why would anyone jump into an ocean? Well, if the oil platform is on fire, they will jump. So it's creating a sense of urgency. So what's different with AI is that the pace of AI change requires an immediate and proactive response. AI is happening now, so the sense of urgency needs to highlight both imminent opportunities and risks. And then Kotter's model suggests that step 2 is to form a powerful coalition. Traditionally, this is about building a leadership team to guide the change. What's different with AI change is that organizations must include technology partners and possibly external stakeholders like AI vendors or consultants to ensure that the right expertise is leading the change. The third step in Kotter's model is to create then a vision for change. So what's different with AI is that leaders need to create a vision that balances optimism about its potential with the realities of rapid technological disruption. What does that mean? It's like saying in the same sentence, this is great, but it's not going to be easy. This is exciting, but it's going to be a rough ride. And that's the vision for change that employees need to hear when leading AI change. Then communicating the vision for change, very important step to make sure that everybody is on board. What's different for AI is we're starting from a point of view that AI is often misunderstood. So when communicating about AI change in organizations, leaders need to be very conscious to get it right, to get the understanding to a level where everybody understands what AI is and what it isn't, and how it can augment rather than replace human work. Because if leaders just go out there and start communicating that this AI system is coming without that explanation and understanding, then all they're going to generate is more and more resistance to that change. Next slide, please. Kotter has 4 more steps to manage change. So the fifth one there is remove obstacles. So help people. So AI obstacles may involve more technical challenges or psychological resistance. So leaders really need to be able to address both with equal rigor. Kotter recommends creating short-term wins. Given the complexity of AI, organizations might need to highlight modest incremental gains early on, such as improvements in efficiency or decision making, while longer-term transformation benefits will be evolving along the way. And then Kotter's model of change, continue to build on the change. Don't take your foot off the accelerator. Continue. So the iterative nature of AI means that this step requires constant learning, adaptation, and upscaling. I mean, think about it. In an organization today, if you start a change management project to integrate AI into the organization, it's going to take 6 months. By the time those 6 months have finished, something has changed in the technology. So it's about building on the change constantly. We're changing within the change and being aware of that. And then the last step in Kotter's model is to anchor those changes in the corporate culture. So anchoring AI in culture requires ongoing upskilling, support for innovation, and a focus on those ethical practices. The culture must evolve to embrace continuous experimentation and learning as AI keeps advancing. And remembering as well this culture of I'm working with the machines, this working together, humans and machines. Okay, we can go past the next slide. I also talked about the ADCAR model, but it's just another model of change, so we don't need to cover that. We can go on to the next slide, please. So a bit of a summary, of what organizations should do differently. Focus on continuous learning, increase transparency, be proactive about upskilling, focus on that ethics and that AI governance that we spoke about. Be agile in change management. You can use your old tools, but adapt them. Make sure employees are involved and get their feedback, understand their concerns, and make sure you're developing their understanding of what AI is and how they can benefit from working with AI. Develop leaders to be able to lead in an AI world. That's really, really important. Look at your change metrics. How are you going to know when you've succeeded? And be constantly aware of cultural readiness. How can we help to develop our culture as an organization and ensure that we are, as we said at the beginning, optimizing those benefits and mitigating the risks? Thank you. So next slide, please. What questions, therefore, should leaders be asking? So there's me saying, okay, you need to be doing this, you need to be doing this. So a leader sat there in his or her organization, what questions should they actually be asking? I'd like to give you another opportunity to have a conversation with your colleagues. If we go to the next slide, and you can choose in your small groups, think of yourselves either as the CEO or the finance manager or the HR manager. You can take any of those and just brainstorm for a few minutes together the answer to that question. What questions should a CEO be asking now? What questions should a finance manager be seeking the answers to? What questions is it imperative that an HR manager knows the answers to? So I would recommend 5 or 6 minutes in your groups, 3 or 4 of you working together, select one of those roles, either CEO or finance manager or HR manager, and have a go at identifying from everything that we've covered today, what are the key questions they need to be asking. Is that clear?
I hope the question is clear. Do you want her to repeat the question? It's clear. If you don't mind, Natalie, can you just repeat the question once?
Yeah. Okay. Imagine I'm the CEO of an organization today. And
Just 2 minutes.
I'm suddenly
She's
aware.
repeating the question. I hope everyone first just listen and then you can start with your activity. So, yes, please, you can go ahead.
Yeah. So I'm a CEO of an organization today. I called my management team together and I've got questions. What should we be doing? Well, the first thing is we should be identifying what we don't know. So, what are the questions a CEO should be asking, should be seeking the answers in order to lead in this AI world? And the same if you choose the finance manager or the HR manager. Some of those questions will overlap, but you'll have distinct differences between finance and HR. Have a go. It's not a test, it's just a conversation.
I think, hello? Hello, I think we can start.
Okay, great.
Yes.
I hope you found that interesting. Do we have some contributions?
Okay, so we would like to welcome certain contributions. So I'll request all the students who have, yes.
Hello, ma'am. My question is, how would a CEO how would a CEO would know that how to balance AI and inputs from employees without deteriorating the employee efficiency? That's it.
Okay, good. Yeah, so a CEO has to be concerned with, we have certain efficiencies at the moment. We have productivity expectations, we have KPIs. How do we make sure we don't negatively impact that as we introduce AI into the organization? Great question.
Thank you, ma'am.
What other questions did
Hello,
you
ma'am.
have?
My name is Dipali Kharayat, and I'm a PGDM human resource student. So, as a HR professional, the questions that we would seek from the employees are first, that how can we create a culture that embraces AI while addressing fears and resistance to change? So, basically, it means that how we create awareness among the employees. And the second question that we would like to ask is that we all know that AI helps in the recruitment process, basically to streamline the recruitment process. So, what steps are necessary to protect employee data when using AI tools, and how AI can be used in the recruitment process as well to streamline it? Yeah, thank you so much, ma'am.
Excellent. That's great. Yeah. And I think as well, sort of add within that is when you're recruiting outside of India as well, it's being conscious of different rules and regulations around data privacy and how AI, because it is so capable, how sometimes we don't want it to be so capable with data. So how we can use it ethically is a really good question for HR. Great. Thank you. Anyone else?
Just a second. Do we have any other student participant coming up? Yeah.
Hello, ma'am. My question is, I mean, as an HR professional, I think the question should be that are we fostering a culture today where AI is used to enhance decision making rather than replacing it? Because there's this new threat to human resources, especially that, you know, we might be replaced. So this is one of the major threat. And also to make sure that is our technology stack aligned with the new kind of talent strategy that we use through AI. So these two questions I would like to know. Thank you.
Excellent. Yeah, great. Thank you. You do realize you're not getting the answers to these questions today, don't you?
Yes, ma'am, I know that.
It's a journey.
Hello,
Anyone
ma'am.
from finance? We haven't heard of finance managers' perspective.
Yeah, hello, ma'am. My name is Smith
Hi.
Parekh. So, as a finance manager, what could be the best predictive model to predict the currency fluctuation, which will have direct effect on raw material I import from China? So, this is my question as a finance manager.
That's a great question. Very technical. Yeah, I love that. And that's really looking at how we can use AI for our benefit, isn't it? Yeah, very good.
Yeah,
Anything else?
means as a finance manager, AI helps us for the future prediction also of the graph of like the valuation of the company and other things like of the share market and all. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, great. Thank you very much. I mean, really, leaders in whatever field in business today should not be making any decision or introducing anything without thinking about how could AI be helping me with this. But let's have a look. Unless there's anybody else, I think we'll move on, and I'll just share some questions with you.
So do we have any other questions coming up? Yes, we do have.
Okay.
Hello, ma'am. My
Hi.
name is Shubham Thakur. As a CEO point of view, I'm asking you a question. What would be ideal trait of AI and human in my organization? When I say idea, it means productivity and humanity.
Excellent. Good. Yeah, that really it's about that awareness of that need for collaboration across humans and machines. How is it actually going to work? Did you have another one?
No, ma'am. Thank you.
No? Okay, that's great.
Natalie, we have one more question. Just a second.
Okay, well, last one, and then we need to move on.
Hello, ma'am. My name is Sakita. I am pursuing HR.
Hi.
So I have two questions. One is, what are the risks of AI replacing in human judgment in sensitive HR decisions?
I didn't hear you. What was the first question?
What are the risks of AI replacing human judgment in sensitive HR decisions?
Okay, good. Yep. So again, it's that let's have the benefits but mitigate with the risks. Okay, good. And you had a second question?
Are there specific areas in HR where AI can drive significant value or innovation?
Okay, great. Good. Thank you. There's some great examples there. And maybe you've already had these questions in mind, but hopefully today will at least prompt you to go away and think about what are the questions leaders in my organization or I as a leader should be asking. Okay, thank you very much for your contributions, everybody. Let's have a quick look at these three roles then, and what I've summarized as the questions they should be asking. So the CEO should be asking questions around vision and strategy. So how does AI fit into our overall business strategy and long-term vision? Competitive advantage. What AI-driven innovations can differentiate our organization from competitors? Cultural alignment. What steps can we take to ensure that our employees are aligned with our AI vision? And he or she will probably give that challenge to HR, but it's a question they should be asking. Investment in technology. How do we prioritize AI initiatives within our overall budget and resource allocation? And stakeholder engagement. What partnerships can we establish to enhance our AI capabilities and resources? And then there are some operational type questions a CEO should be asking. Next slide, please. Leadership and governance. How can we ensure that our leadership team is equipped to navigate the complexities of AI adoption? Talent management. What role will our leadership team play in upskilling employees for an AI-driven future? Change management. How will we manage the change associated with AI? And then what's our data strategy? How do we ensure that we are leveraging data effectively to drive AI initiatives? And then the CEO might ask some future-proofing questions. For example, next slide, please. Organizational agility. How can we build a more agile organization? Risk management. What risks does AI pose to our organization? Corporate social responsibility. How are we addressing the ethical implications? Or what role should we play in ensuring that AI is used responsibly and for the benefit of society? And then finally, two more questions for the CEO on regulatory and compliance. So what regulatory challenges might arise and how can we promote transparency and accountability in our AI initiatives? So those questions, strategic, operational, future-proofing, regulatory and compliance, it's a starting point for the CEO to work with their leadership team to get the answers to those questions. They'll be on the way to formulating an AI strategy. Okay, next slide, please. We'll have a look at what the finance manager is asking. What are the projected costs of implementing AI technologies in our financial processes? How can AI improve our financial forecasting accuracy? On risk management, what risks does AI introduce to our financial reporting and compliance processes? Investment decisions, how do we evaluate the ROI for AI projects? Strategic alignment, how does AI align with our overall organizational strategy and objectives? And then there are some operational questions coming from finance. Next slide, please. Workflow integration. What processes can be automated or enhanced? Data management. How do we ensure the quality and integrity of the data? Skill development. What skills do our finance team members need to effectively leverage AI tools? And again, change management. How will we manage the transition to an AI-driven finance department? The finance future-proofing questions, next slide. How will AI impact our staffing needs in the finance department? The finance manager has to be thinking about his or her workforce planning. What about cultural readiness? Is our finance team culturally ready for AI adoption? What about those ethical considerations? How can we ensure that AI-driven decisions are transparent and accountable? And then finally, the finance regulatory and compliance questions. How will AI technologies affect our compliance with financial regulations and standards? And how can AI enhance our internal audit processes and controls? Thank you. Next slide. So HR, and again, we're going to look at strategic operational future proofing. So strategic questions will probably be around talent acquisition first. How can AI enhance our recruitment process and candidate sourcing? What about the employee experience? How can AI tools improve the employee experience throughout the employee life cycle? Workforce planning, and as the finance manager was asking the question for his department, HR has to be asking it for the whole organization. Same with the cultural alignment. And what about strategic HR metrics? What new metrics should we track to evaluate the effectiveness of AI in our HR processes? Then there are some operational questions. What processes can be automated using AI? How do we ensure the security and privacy of employee data? How can we use AI to personalize employee training and development programs? How will we manage the cultural and operational changes associated with AI adoption in HR? And then some future-proofing questions. What about, next slide please, workforce transformation? How will AI impact traditional HR roles and responsibilities? Diversity and inclusion. How can we ensure that AI tools are fair and promote diversity in hiring and promotion practices? Employee well-being. How can AI contribute to enhancing employee well-being and mental health initiatives? Something so important to organizations today. And then finally, from HR on the regulatory and compliance questions, how will AI implementation affect our compliance with labor laws and regulations? And again, what ethical considerations should our use of AI in HR decision making? So lots and lots of questions that should not be on the back burner, but should be on the table and should be being tackled by leaders in organizations today. Okay, thank you for your time. Finally, I wanted to take a look specifically at your country and just see, okay, what does all of this mean for us in India? So asking the question, next slide please, are you positioned as a significant player in the global AI landscape? So we've heard about examples from the US, from China, from Europe. So The data shows us that India is positioned as a significant player in the global AI landscape, but there are concerns regarding whether it is keeping pace with the rapid expansion of AI technologies worldwide. So here are some key insights into India's current status and future potential. So by 2025, AI is projected to contribute 500 billion to India's GDP, which could represent around 10% of the country's goal. This highlights AI's transformative potential, particularly across sectors like healthcare, agriculture, and finance. What about government initiatives? The Indian government has prioritized AI development through initiatives such as the National AI Strategy and investments in AI research. These efforts aim to enhance the country's AI capabilities and promote responsible AI practices. What about the growing startup ecosystem? India has a vibrant AI startup culture with many companies innovating in areas like computer vision and machine learning. This ecosystem is crucial for driving AI advancements and providing solutions tailored to local needs. Skills development. A significant portion of the workforce recognizes the importance of AI skills, which leads to increased training and upskilling initiatives. About 62% of professionals in India believe their career growth depends on their comfort with AI, indicating a strong demand for AI-related competencies. And on collaborative efforts, increasing collaboration between academia and industry is helping to develop AI-focused curricula and research projects, ensuring a workforce ready for AI challenges. So what are the challenges that India needs to focus on overcoming? Despite its strengths, India faces challenges such as a skill gap in AI expertise, inconsistent data availability and quality, high implementation costs for SMEs, and regulatory concerns regarding AI ethics. Addressing these challenges will be crucial for India to maintain its competitive edge in the global AI market. So in conclusion, while India has made significant strides in AI development, addressing the existing challenges will be essential so the country can keep pace and potentially lead in the global AI landscape. The next few years are critical for shaping India's AI future, with a focus on ethical AI, robust training programs, and supportive government policies being key areas of development. And my final word on India particularly is around everything that we've spoken about from a global perspective. What do we need to be aware of locally? And everything is cultural, isn't it? So it's very much about when we say collaboration between humans and machines, what does that look like for India? What is it about the Indian culture that might drive some of these initiatives to look slightly different? So fostering a collaborative culture. With AI's rapid evolution, leaders should cultivate a culture of collaboration and open dialogue. This involves encouraging teams to share insights and concerns about AI technologies. Given India's relational work culture, fostering an environment where employees feel comfortable discussing the implications of AI is crucial. So you have a very traditional hierarchical approach, very respectful of different levels, and sometimes very reticent to share concerns. So that's something that leaders in facing these AI challenges and opportunities needs to be very aware of. Educating and upskilling. Leaders must prioritize continuous learning and development. As AI technologies require new competencies, investing in training programs will help employees to adapt. Leaders should take a personal interest in their team's learning journeys, reinforcing the importance of skill acquisition while respecting the individual roles within the hierarchy. Communicating the vision. Clearly articulating the vision and benefits of integration is vital. Leaders should explain how AI will enhance team performance and drive organizational goals, ensuring that the narrative aligns with both individual and collective benefits. Empower with caution. While it's beneficial to empower teams to innovate with AI, leaders should also navigate this empowerment carefully. Given the hierarchical nature of Indian workplaces, leaders must maintain oversight and provide guidance while allowing for team autonomy in exploring AI solutions. Address ethical concerns. With the rise of AI, leaders need to tackle ethical concerns proactively. Understanding the cultural sensitivity towards data privacy and ethical implications of AI is essential. Leaders should engage in discussions about ethical AI practices, ensuring that employees feel their values are upheld. Adapt change management strategies. Leaders should modify traditional change management frameworks to accommodate the rapid pace of AI adoption. This may involve blending established models like Kottas and ADKAR with agile methodologies to respond to the quick shifts that AI brings. Highlight team success. In the AI landscape, where individual contributions might be overshadowed by technology, leaders should actively recognize and celebrate team achievements. This fosters a sense of unity and shared purpose, crucial in maintaining motivation during significant transitions. And that need to recognize teamwork is so important in the Indian work culture. Okay, and my final slide is basically asking over to you. Thank you very much. And do you have any questions?
Do we have any questions? So I request students, those who have any questions can please come ahead. Yeah, we have.
Good afternoon. My name is
Hi.
Devansh, and the question I have is, as you have experienced both Indian as well as global market, what do you think which market is better for business and which market offers better opportunity for growth as well as which market supports government rules for smooth business operation?
You know, I think all markets offer opportunities and challenges. I think it's how the organizations operating within those markets, how they are going to position themselves is most important. So I don't think it is a case of geography so much as being in the right type of organization that is facing this new AI reality proactively. That's where opportunities will come from.
Thank you.
So do we have any more questions? Yeah, that's all for the day. So we'll just proceed with the formal vote of thanks process.
We are grateful to our guest for dedicating her precious time to us. Our key takeaways from this session are AI is not going to replace the managers, but the managers who use AI will replace the managers who do not. Change is the only constant in life, so change management will become an important skill. AI will be reshaping leadership and paying more attention to emotional intelligence, adaptability, and creativity. Human-centric skills will be a need in AI world, and upskilling will be very important for everyone to sustain in this AI world. Also, we would like to extend our heartfelt gratitude to the TGBS ecosystem, our director Dr. Suchi Gautam ma'am, all the faculty members, the student participants of TIMSR, TCET, TIMSCDR, TSAP, TGBS, as well as all the online student participants for attending this session. Thank you to the IT team and support staff for the cooperation. Thank you once again for this wonderful session.
So once again, Natalie, thank you very much for this session, for your time. Have a good day ahead. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks very much.